Sometimes I fucking hate cars.
No, first day of Street Machine Nationals yesterday. As you saw, everything's fine. Car came home. I go to start it up, and I don't even get down the block, and it starts running like shit. I turn around, come back. I don't even want to screw around like I did last year, so I went and got spark plugs. Threw brand new spark plugs in. Not it. Pulled the valve covers. Everything looks fine. Did a compression check on all the cylinders. Everything's fine. Pulled the distributor cap off. Cleaned that out. I mean, a little bit of carbon, but it looked fine. Still runs like total shit. Got everything off the top there, started up. It's 10 to 1 air fuel ratio, and it says it's supposed to be commanding 13 and a half. And it's just dumping fuel in to be hell. It's
Alright. Now that I've fixed the problem, I may have overreacted a little bit, but it's also the problem with something that literally has never been even remotely an issue in the like 4 years now. So, out of just desperation to keep checking things, I went back and I just tried to get it to run. I mean, super shittily. It was just dumping fuel in. And make sure, like, just check the sensors and make sure there wasn't, like, you know, something weird. Well, turns out I had no map sensor. Like, it was stuck. So that's why, it was acting like the throttle was wide open, regardless of what RPM it was at. That's why I was dumping fuel in. So, started checking looking at the throttle body and be like, oh yeah, this thing's got an internal map sensor in the ECU. So I'm just like, oh shit. Well, go check my vacuum line. No, that's hooked up on the engine side. All right. Go back down, look in the interior, and it's just laying there on the floor. And well, that's this one right here. So now I've added a zip tie to this because the rubber line was off, but this clear piece is actually threaded together, and that's a Holly thing for different sizes for the vacuum line. And that was completely loose. It was almost about to fall off anyway. So now I just feel dumb about it because I don't know. I should have been thinking to look at that because that reading is on my dash display, and I just didn't because this hasn't been an issue I've run into before. So just dumb. And of course now it's too late in the day. Like even if I hauled butt down to the fairgrounds, I'm not gonna make it in time to even make a single run today. It's just whatever. It's not worth it at this point. Just and of course, while I was in there screwing around with stuff, I broke my rear view mirror off the window, so I gotta go get glue for that because I definitely don't want to be in traffic without a rear view mirror. Which, whatever. Actually, I gotta put one on that truck too anyway, so I need the glue anyway. Now what I really don't get about that failure is, like, I drove it all the way down there, did the QA1 cruise, made autocross runs, drove it home, no issue whatsoever. It was parked in the driveway overnight, and I started up this morning, and I back out the driveway, and it's like shit. How does it... You think it had been an ongoing, you know, it'd be either a, you know, like a subtle problem, or why didn't it just totally fall off last night? I do not understand. Guess lessons for next time. Check your sensors first.
I like this course a lot better. cone though.
Well, that was a couple weeks ago now. As you saw in the last video, if you saw it about Road America, things didn't go well. Which really sucks because we're, I think, 3 weeks out from King of the Mountain now. And I made the decision yesterday that I have to throw in the towel on that because it just, I don't think it's going to happen time frame wise with getting the engine repaired. The cam bearings spun in the block. It's going to have to get line bored, and I'm going to have to make sleeves to stick in there to be able to put good cam bearings back in it. And while I could just have another block done, again, time frame wise, I just, whether or not the machine shop has time to expect it back that quickly, I can't count on it. And the last thing I want to do is be getting a block back, even if it's the weekend before, and having quite literally 5 days to put the whole car back together, and then no testing and drive halfway across the country just seems like a terrible plan altogether. And the last thing I want to do is rush anything to only end up having further problems later on down the road. So I've had to bow out of that, and I'm really disappointed about it. But at the same time, I was stressing out so much that I could barely sleep Friday night, and making the decision yesterday on Saturday, I slept so much better just having set to a decision on that. And I don't know, at this point it's going to be, hopefully I'm, within a month, maybe a month and a half, would be great to have the car back together in time for the Wamedy Hill climb. I mean, even by the end of the month, even if it's past King of the Mountain, but I still got another 2 weeks, or at least 2 weeks after that, before North Star Speed Summit 2.0 for this year. It'd be great to make that. At the same time, it's kind of at the point with how much stuff has been breaking down. I'm just, if I'm done for the year with this car, then so be it. I'll have plenty of time to do maintenance and repairs. I mean, the brakes are used up. Like, the slots in the front rotor's totally gone. Like, they don't exist anymore, and it's probably at least a 16th step on both sides. Like, they're used up. I've got new brake parts and stuff that showed up this week sitting over there on the counter, but I just, all that stuff has to be gone through. Last week I figured out that a whole bunch of the big slop I have in the drivetrain is because my drive cogs for the rear end on the axle have been worn hard enough that they're slopped out inside of what they're supposed to be keyed into nicely. And the screws that are meant to hold that in were never good enough even when the stuff was new. I'm sure some of the wheel pressure was supposed to take that, but after remachining them so that the wheels fit without issue, because typically on dirt track they'd run a bigger ID hub for the steel wheels than most aftermarket aluminum stuff is, it just doesn't match. So that had to get changed. I ended up just freaking pounding some steel in there to shim it out, which worked great and made a wonderful difference in the slop in the drivetrain. But I think we're going to be ditching that altogether. I mean, I'll run these things till they break again, but unless I can weld it up and remachine the hub a little bit to make them work again, I may ditch them all together and just go to a regular flange drive style. That's been my backup part that's gotten me home and actually got me through a race weekend before, so if I just go to those, it'll kind of eliminate the problem because it'll be sandwiched between the wheel. But I got a bunch of steering slop just off of the firewall. It's not the bearing that's bad on the firewall, it's what holds the bearings all slopped out. So I've been driving around sloppiness in the steering wheel, and it's time to fix that, especially with all this torn apart. It's easy to get to now. It's just going to be time to do a bunch of maintenance. I've also noticed that while my battery's clamped down, the mount has decided that it's loosening up from banging around. So this was originally a mount for a catch can that then I modified and made the battery mount work, because originally the battery was on this side. So just at the point, I can cut away some material, try to save a little bit of weight, reinforce that. Probably just weld it in so it's solid now instead of a bolt-on piece. There's definitely other places on the chassis where I've got some extra material, and I can just kind of start saving a little bit of weight on here. It won't be anything staggering, but I don't know, it seems like every time I get into this car and upgrade something, it gains 40 pounds. So if I can get 20 to 40 back somehow, I mean, it's something. But yeah, I'm real disappointed about not doing King of the Mountain, but it just, even if the car went back together, I'm not going to be happy because it might be compromised. It's gonna be rushed, even if it did get back together in any reasonable amount of time. I don't want to show up like that. That's not what I'm here. I'm not here to realistically throw money at this thing this month to then show up and not feel great about my performance. So there's always, trying to get picked to go and invited next year again. And really, if this is just some downtime now, I'll get the things I need to fix on this, and there'll be more time for the tube chassis. So, and that's already, I've had enough problems with this that one's been delayed. So if I can get back to working on that a little bit over the next 2 months and into the winter time, then there's a good chance that I'll have 2 cars to rock next year. So we'll see how all that goes. But